Hello everyone, this is CircuitPython weekly meeting for Monday, December 1st. It's the time of the week where we get together and talk about all things CircuitPython. I'm Liz, I'm sponsored by Adafruit to work on CircuitPython. CircuitPython is a version of Python designed to run on tiny computers called microcontrollers. CircuitPython development is primarily sponsored by Adafruit, so if you want to support Adafruit and CircuitPython, consider purchasing hardware from adafruit.com. This meeting is hosted on the Adafruit Discord server. You can join anytime by going to adafruit.it/discord. We hold the meeting in the CircuitPython dev text channel and CircuitPython voice channel. Meeting typically happens on Mondays at 2 p.m. U.S. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, except when it coincides with a U.S. holiday. In the notes doc, there's a link to a calendar you can view online or add to your favorite calendar app. We also send notifications about upcoming meetings via Discord. If you would like to receive these notifications, ask us to add you to the CircuitPythonistas Discord role. There's a shared notes document that accompanies the meeting and recording. You can contribute to this document beforehand. File notes document includes timestamps go along with the video so that you can use the doc to skip around and view the parts of the video that interest you most. This meeting tends to run 30 to 60 minutes. After each meeting, we post a link to the next meeting's notes document in the CircuitPython dev channel on the Adafruit Discord. Check the pinned messages, find the latest notes doc, so you can add your notes for the following meeting. If you wish to participate but cannot attend, you can leave hug reports and status updates in the document for us to read during the meeting. And this meeting is held in 5 parts. First part is community news. Second part is state of CircuitPython libraries and Blinka with all of the fantastic stats. Third part is hug reports. Fourth part is status updates. And fifth part is in the weeds. And if you have any in the weeds topics, I invite you to add them now. I see we do have one. So that will be how this meeting will go. And so with that, we will get things started with community news. So I want to note that this news is from last week's newsletter that went out November 24th and took a well-deserved holiday with the Thanksgiving holiday in the US, but the news is still nice and fresh. So we start off with Python remains #1 language while C# grows. November 2025 TIOBE index brings another twist below Python's familiar lead. C solidifies its position as a runner-up. C++ and Java lose some ground as C# moves sharply upward toward narrowing the gap with Java to less than a percentage point. At the bottom of the leaderboard, long-established languages once again define the shape of the top 10, with Perl reappearing and Go dropping off. I remember there was a guy I knew in the band scene that was talking about C#. That was about 10 years ago, so interesting to see it growing now. Next thing, electronic drum business cards built on RP2040 and CircuitPython. Embedded systems engineer Sergey Itanovich has reinvented the age-old business card by turning it into a playable electronic drum kit. Moving from a complex Linux version 1, version 2 was built ready within hours. I started from a CircuitPython build for a 16 megabyte RP2040 board, prepared a tiny drum sample set, and wrote a short script that scans pads and plays stereo waves via audio mixer and audio PWM I/O. Looks really cool. Definitely check it out. And then project of the week, a Raspberry Pi Pico W binary clock and weather monitor. Building a binary clock and weather monitor using the Raspberry Pi Pico W. It displays the time in binary using LEDs and also pulls the current weather data from the internet, all powered by a tiny microcontroller. And there are links to Instructables, GitHub, YouTube, and it was brought in via Hackaday. These news items and more are available in our weekly Python for Microcontrollers newsletter, which goes out via email on Monday mornings. Visit adafruitdaily.com to subscribe to the newsletter. Thanks to Anne for putting the newsletter together. If you have any Python on hardware projects to share or find content you'd like to see included, please consider contributing to the newsletter. Email cpnews@adafruit.com with a link to content. And that is community news. Next up is state of CircuitPython libraries and Blinka. This is a quantitative overview of the entire project. It gives us a chance to look at the health of the project separate from our status updates. We'll talk about the project overall, then separately discuss the core, libraries, and Blinka. So overall, there were 6 pull requests merged by 3 authors, retired Wizard, D. Halpert, and 2B Andy 5. And 4 reviewers, Maker Melissa, Leah Anderson 1, Tan Newt, and Foamy Guy. And then there were 2 closed issues by 2 people and 7 opened by 7 people. And now we'll go to Dan to hear about the core.
Okay, you can hear me now, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
sound good.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is the past week, but we've actually not had a meeting for 2 weeks. So in the past week, there was one pull request merged by one author, me, and there were 2 reviewers, Leah Anderson 1 and Scott. And there are now 22 open pull requests. In the past week, there was 1 issue closed by 1 person and 4 open by 4 people. There are right now 831 open issues, which are organized by milestone. So of the 831, 665 are long-term, so not being worked on actively right now necessarily. There are 9 open issues for the 10.0x milestone. There are 4 open issues for the 10.1.0 milestone. We're working on 10.1.0 beta something right now. There are 86 open issues that we like to fix sometime during the 10 lifetime. And there are 9 issues that have been deferred to 11. Those are usually incompatible changes or major changes that we don't want to do in the current major version. Then there are 2 issues that are not assigned a milestone that need to be triaged, and then some other miscellaneous categories like library support and third party. And that is it for the core.
Great, thank you. Now we'll hear from Foamy Guy about the libraries.
All right, thanks, Liz. This section covers all of the CircuitPython libraries. They are split into 2 different bundles. There's the Adafruit library bundle, which currently has 379 libraries in it, and the community library bundle. That one has 171 libraries in it for a total right now of 550 different libraries that support CircuitPython devices. Across the Adafruit libraries over the last week, we have had 3 pull requests merged by 2 different authors, thanks to Retired Wizard and Dan. We had 2 reviewers, thanks to Scott and myself. And then all of the pull requests that were merged were on the new side of things. We had a couple 1-days and a 2-day. Pull requests that remain open. We still have 48 of those across the Adafruit libraries. The oldest one is at 1,201 day. The newest one is at 4 days old right now. I think lots of folks were off over the weekend, so we didn't get a ton of new stuff going on in GitHub. And speaking of, we had 0 issues closed by 0 people. Only 1 new issue opened up by 1 person, and that leaves us right now with 759 open issues. And there's currently 1 of them that's labeled Good First Issue, and you could find that one as well as all the others listed over at circuitpython.org/contributing, which is the website where you should head if you want to start to get involved in the CircuitPython project. Usually, the first place where we point folks who want to get involved in the action is reviewing PRs. And if you just load that page, circuitpython.org/contributing, that is the first thing you'll see is a list of open PRs. Those are links over to GitHub. They're waiting for a person to come along and review them. So take a look at the changes that are proposed in that PR to try it out on hardware. If you do have the hardware for it, what you can do if you want to get involved is leave a comment on GitHub letting us know that you took a look. You can review the code for spelling, syntax, logic, anything like that. If you do have the hardware, you can try out whatever that proposed change is and also include in your comment how that went. If you were able to do it, did it work successfully or not, or did you have issues? Include all of that kind of stuff in your comment. Once you get comfortable with that process, checking out those PRs and leaving comments on there, we can get you leveled up to leave official reviews over on GitHub, which are kind of like slightly different comments, but work just the same. If you would like to do that, and then if you would like to start getting your hands dirty contributing some of your own code, you can also get started with that at the same page. Again, it's circuitpython.org/contributing. This time you're going to want to click over to the issues link along the top of the page. There's navigation. You could click over to issues and you'll see a similar looking page with links over to GitHub, but these ones represent issues. There's no proposed change yet. They're waiting for a person to come along who is willing to work on whatever that issue may be, perhaps fixing a bug or adding a new feature or a new example or something like that. And so, again, if you want to get involved, you can go through that list, find something that's interesting to you. It is especially helpful if you have the hardware for it so that you're able to test it out. And then you can read up on what the issue is and submit your own PR with a proposed fix for that issue. We do have a Learn Guide for contributing using Git and GitHub. We also have folks who are more than happy to help you out here on the Discord. So if you are trying to get involved, whether that's reviewing or submitting your own PRs and you're having trouble with any part of the issue, version control or GitHub or Actions or anything else, just let us know what you're up to here on Discord. Come say hi, and we would be happy to help you out. In terms of library updates in the last 7 days, I will call out the community library community bundle one. There looks like an update to the NRF 24L01 library over in community bundle. And that is what we have for libraries this week. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you, Tim. Now I'll read about Blinka. Blinka is our compatibility layer for CircuitPython on single board computers like Raspberry Pi. And there were 2 pull requests merged by 1 author. There are 17 open pull requests right now. There was 1 closed issue by 1 person and 2 opened by 2 different people. There are currently 142 open issues, and our number of supported boards is at 166. And that is the state of CircuitPython, libraries, and Blinka. Next up is Hug Reports. So Hug Reports is a chance to highlight folks in the CircuitPython community and beyond for doing awesome things. I will start, and then we'll go down the list of Hug Reports alphabetically. If you are text only or are missing the meeting, I'll read your notes when I get to them in the list. So I'm going to kick things off with a group hug. And now we'll hear from Dan.
And I also have a group hug. It's been, things have been light the past couple of weeks. Okay.
Very good. All right. And now we'll hear from Foamy Guy.
All right, I have a couple of hugs this week, thanks to Relic SE on GitHub, who made and shared a FruitJam OS App Store utility, which is really cool. Thanks to them. And Retired Wizard as well, who's been working on enhanced USB trackpad support for FruitJam and other CircuitPython devices. So thanks to them. And I will echo what Liz and Dan mentioned with a group hug as well. Thanks.
Great, thank you. And now we'll hear from Tanut.
Hello, a couple for me. First, thank you to everybody who's run these meetings, including you, Liz. I am back in the office starting today, so thanks to everybody for the last 6 or so months that covered for me when I was out and read my notes. I appreciate that. And then also Renze on Discord gave me a tip about switching the USB PHYs on the ESP32P4 dynamically that I'm excited to take a look at. So thanks to them as well.
Thank you, and welcome back to your office. And that will do it for Hug Reports. Next up is Status Updates. Status Updates is our time to tell folks what we're up to individually. I will start, and we'll go through the list of updates alphabetically. When I call on you, take a couple minutes to talk about what you've been doing since the last meeting and what you'll be doing until the next meeting. If the discussion becomes too long for status updates, we can move it to In the Weeds. I will kick things off. I, like many folks, was out last week for a Thanksgiving holiday, but I did use CircuitPython and Desktop Python in personal projects. I wrote a CircuitPython script for Raspberry Pi that I have running behind my TV to use a Stemma OLED and an EMC2101 fan controller. The OLED displays the IP address and system status messages, and then I have the fan controller using the CPU temp to adjust the case fan speed. And then for Desktop Python land, I wrote a script that assists with backing up DVDs and Blu-ray discs. This has been a long-term goal of mine, and the script makes it a lot easier by taking care of the logging and grabbing the metadata for the movies and TV shows and then adding them to the files. That was the step that always made me stop after a couple of disks. So now that I can have a Python script do that, Makes it a lot easier. But now I'm back, and I'm starting out by documenting the new ENS 161 sensor that's in the shop. That will need a very minor update to the CircuitPython driver. And then I'm going to be starting a Hanukkah project that involves a stepper motor, a planetary gear, and dreidels. So keep an eye out for that. And now we'll hear from Dan.
All right. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been working on a C implementation of networking code that will support airlift boards. Airlift boards run the Nina FW firmware either on ESP32 or ESP32C6. So an example of such a board with an airlift board is like the PyPortal. And also the Fruit Jam has an ESP32C6. So previously we've been using a Python library called ESP32 Spy to do Wi-Fi stuff or networking stuff, Wi-Fi networking stuff with these coprocessors. But it's kind of different from our other native Wi-Fi API, and so it would be good if these APIs got closer together, so that maybe only the setup was different on these two boards, on these two kinds of boards. And in fact, also maybe we could start having the web workflow on boards like the Fruit Jam, for instance, so you don't have to plug it in order to edit code on it. So that's what I'm working on. I had a simpler version that used the ESP32 SPI thing, and that was beginning to work, and then I changed it to use this other API, and I'm still working on getting the compilation bugs out, and then I'll start testing. And that's what I'm working on.
Very cool. Looking forward to how that all turns out. Appreciate you working on it. And now we'll hear from Foamy Guy.
All right. For the last week or so before the break, last thing I was working on is the code and guide for a Pi Video Looper 2 project. This is kind of an updated version of an older project that was in the Learn Guide system. Turns your Raspberry Pi into a dedicated video looper. The new version that I've been working on is updated to support the Raspberry Pi 4 and 5 with the latest versions of Raspberry Pi OS. The original project was made back in the Raspberry Pi 1 days, so it was still working on the very, very old hardware, but not working on some of the new stuff. So now we have an option available for Pi 4s and 5s to do that. In CircuitPython land, last week I successfully implemented 4-color Floyd Steinberg dither dynamically in Python code for grayscale photos on the mag tag. It is quite slow to do. It takes like 30 or 40 seconds to do an image, which is maybe 2/3 or so the size of the screen. I was thinking it might be cool to have this in bitmap tools in the core, and that may speed it up some as well. I did take a quick peek in the code there and found that the existing dither code that does exist is hard-coded for 1 bit, and it uses like an array of booleans. So it would need to be refactored a little bit in order to store multiple values to get up to 4 for the mag tag. I don't know for sure if I will attempt it, but it's kind of on the back burner for now as something that I may do down the line, because I do think it would be cool if we could dynamically dither images using all 4 colors that are available on the mag tag instead of just 2. But what I have moved on to for my next project is a literary quotes clock on the mag tag. So it will hit the internet to find out what time it is, and then it will show a quote from a book that has that current time. So there's a big list of every single minute of the day, a quote from a different book, and then it will show the author and stuff as well. So that is what I'm up to. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. And now we'll hear from Scott.
Hello. Like I said, I'm back in the office because my youngest goes to daycare today. It's her first day. I was out last week because we got sick. We got influenza A, all of us, which was real fun. But I'm back in the office today, so I got 3 solid weeks before the holidays. I started working on Zephyr C support, and I'm going to pick up at where I left off. The goal is that if you have a board definition in Zephyr that defines an I2C board, I2C port, that would just be available as board.I2C. or board dot something else. It will not be an actual bus IO module. It will be a Zephyr I squared C with a I squared C object that acts the same way. You just wouldn't instantiate it at all. That's the main thing I'm working on, targeting the newer Nordic chips specifically with that, and just anything else that has Zephyr support, which is fun to be able to do. And then I'm also going to take a look at the ESP32P4 and switching the USB port there as well. Thanks again to the person on Discord that pointed me to that. So I'm around for 3 weeks and then out between Christmas and New Year's, and then back full-time in January as well.
Great, thank you. And that is going to do it for status updates. Next up is In the Weeds. In the Weeds is an opportunity for long-form discussions that either come out of status updates or that folks have identified ahead of time. If you have any In the Weeds topics, please make sure they get added while we're discussing other things. And we do have a In the Weeds topic from Foamy Guy, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. I just wanted to ask about this. I think I mentioned before, Relic SE over on GitHub created this FruitJam OS sort of app store where it lets you download more apps that get loaded into the OS. There is kind of like a curated list inside of the repo that lists to other apps on GitHub, and then it can download from there. And I think this is super neat functionality, but I did want to ask the wider team before I just like threw it in on my own volition, just because I didn't know if there was any worry about the fact that it can download the third-party content. So that's kind of like my main question is, are we cool with adding a sort of App Store style utility that's able to download from GitHub? It's a curated list, but it is still downloading from third-party repositories. And then secondarily, if we are okay with that, is there any kind of like specific warning or something we would want to put on it just to like clearly mark it as third-party content, and kind of like indicate the code of conduct and everything still applies as well. So those are my main questions that I had for the wider group.
I think it would be good to have. I don't think we have to go too warning heavy, but I do
Okay.
like the idea of saying that the code of conduct still applies. I would ask Phil about the like Adafruit endorsed versus not question.
Okay, cool.
Like,
yeah, I will do that.
He might have more of an opinion about that than I would.
I'd be inclined to think that we'd want to maybe have it be operated by Adafruit, just based on how other utilities like that have gone. So I don't know if maybe like chatting with Phil and maybe seeing if Relic SE would like transfer over, we could or something. Because then,
yeah, definitely. So
yeah.
The way that it would work, or the way that I'm imagining it would work, is essentially the App Store, code, the code for that App Store would get moved into FruitJam OS. So that would be under the Adafruit repository, and then what it contains in there is the list of other repos. So essentially, in order to add a new thing, in the store, a new app into the store so that it's available for download, that would require still like a PR against the FruitJam OS under the Adafruit org. So yeah, it would. They would still retain the sort of final say of that list. Just the download itself would come from that other repo.
I think then that should be okay, because it's still going through that level of check. It's not like it's just kind of like a free
right. Yeah. You can't. Yeah, no. Yeah, definitely not a free for all. And it's still that. Yeah, it'll have to just be PRs in order to add stuff to it. So they'll still go through the approval and everything. Okay, cool. I will reach out to PT and ask if there's any other specific concerns from the Adafruit side or any wording that they want me to use. But it sounds like we're good with that. So I will work with Relic SE. There's still, I think, some polishing and stuff they want to do to the app. So I don't think it's ready to just throw in right now today, but I'll work with them and we'll get that added coming up. I think it'll be super cool as well.
Sweet. Thank you. And thank you for all your work that you've done on FruitJam OS. By the way, it works super well. So thank you.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of fun. Been a lot of fun to build. So
nice. All right. With that, I can go ahead and wrap up this meeting. So this has been the CircuitPython Weekly for Monday, December 1st, 2025. Thank you to everyone who participated. If you want to support Adafruit and CircuitPython, and those of us that work on CircuitPython, consider purchasing from the Adafruit shop at adafruit.com. The video of this meeting will be released on YouTube at youtube.com/Adafruit, and the podcast will be available on major podcast services. It'll also be featured in the Python for Microcontrollers newsletter. Visit adafruitdaily.com to subscribe. The next meeting, I believe, if I'm wrong, please correct me, will be next Monday on 12/8 at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. I believe we're going back to the weekly meetings. And the meeting is held right here on the Adafruit Discord, which you can join by going to adafruit.it/Discord. To be notified about the meeting and any changes to the time or day, you can ask to be added to the CircuitPythonistas role on Discord. And we hope to see you all next week. Thanks, everyone.